Wow, I think we can do without that. So, can you all hear me okay this morning? Always do the music just so we can get a little sound check, but decided I would do something different today, and that turned out to be really different. So, let me know if you're hearing me okay. We'll start here in about 2 minutes, but I thought, okay, the ice cream truck music we didn't really need to hear, so that was my problem, Judith. I also like ice cream. All right, give me about 2 minutes here and we'll begin, and I will give you all an opportunity to introduce yourself. Good conversation going on, good crowd building, and so I'm looking forward to a really fun webinar today. So hang with me for a couple of minutes here and we'll be starting in about 1 minute. All right? All right. Yes, Judith, I was kind of wondering about Gloria myself. She should be here. Okay, good question, Jeffrey. We will get to that in just a moment, okay? Let's let everyone introduce themselves, but thank you for the question, and I will note that until we have Gloria here to help us keep track of the questions. So we have Jeffrey and Judith and Stefan from Paris, and Al from Chattanooga, Tennessee. We have Jay from Lubbock, Texas. We also have Roy from California. The California folks, the West Coast people, we always appreciate you coming on because I know it's early in the morning for you there. So good to have you. Good to see you today. And obviously, this is Eric coming to you from beautiful downtown Huntsville, Alabama, where it is beautiful all the time. And we have Beth from Central Florida, Gene from Illinois, Matt from Athens, Alabama, just right up the road there, Matt. We don't have very many people who attend with us from Alabama, so it's good to see you. There's Gloria. Good morning, Gloria. Glad to have you on today. So good to see you. All right. Anybody else? We've got lots of people, so be sure and introduce yourself. Pete's here. Ron is here from North Carolina. Good to have you both with us. James from Coventry, UK. Martin from South Carolina. Good to have both of you on today and attending our webinar. Got a fun time planned for you today. Elke from Germany. Good to have you. And Carol from Corpus Christi, Texas. We have two Carols who always attend, one and from different places. James from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Good to see you this morning, James. It's interesting because you all are kind of becoming like family to me. And we had someone on back in February and said, it's like you know everybody that's on the webinar. Yeah, we have some regular attenders and we really, really appreciate our audience and we care about you and are always glad to see you on. We have Ralph today from San Marcos, California. If we have anybody new today, if you're new, if this is your first time on, please indicate that you're new so that we can greet you. We have a good Usigners welcome for you today. And yes, Pete, I really feel like that. I honestly do. I feel like we are family, and it's just kind of fascinating that we've been able to create this kind of synergy inside of this group, and so I feel it's very, very special. Very special time. Anybody else want to introduce themselves, or anybody on for the first time? I want to hear from the first timers today, because I have want to kind of explain the rules a little bit if you are a first timer. All right, here's what we're going to do. If you have a question, make sure you precede the question. Okay, that's your first time. And Roy, it's your first time. So good to have both of you on. And anyone else, greetings from Tallahassee. And good to see you, Kim. And so good to have the first timers on with us. And so you'll understand that we cover two things in this webinar. We spend a little bit of time on GIF design and a little bit of time on UDesign, depending upon which of those two things gets the priority for the day. And we alternate kind of back and forth depending upon what has happened and if there's a new release with GIF design. And so we try to make sure that everybody's up to speed, and that so we tackle an issue each Friday, and sometimes it's multiple issues, and sometimes it's a couple of issues, and we try to give you things that will help you to build a design business, so that if you have a desire to take your designs to the world, we've got the tools and the things that can help you to do that. And so we'll be talking about some of those things today. So very good to have you. Glad to have our first timers, glad to have our regular folks, and you all, we're going to make them feel very welcome. So remember this: if you have a question, precede the question with 3 question marks or 3 capital Qs. That way, Gloria can identify that. Gloria does a fantastic job of keeping track of the questions as they come through. That's the easiest way for us to do that, and we don't want to miss that. We make this webinar very interactive. So if you have questions that can keep us in the flow, if you have a question that takes us off in an unusual direction, we may have to park it for a while. But as long as it stays in the flow of what we're doing, you're more than welcome to ask questions, and we answer those questions as we go. We want to make sure that we keep everybody headed in the right direction. So this is your opportunity to get the training that you need as we go, okay? So having said that, welcome to all of you today. I'm looking forward to the things that we have to share with you. So let's get on with it. The first thing I want to take a look at is I want to talk about the community for just a minute. And this was from the UDesigners community. This is our good friend Tom. Tom's usually on our webinars. And Tom makes this question, and I wanted to highlight this for a couple of reasons. One, Tom is an incredible guy. He's very diplomatic. I love Tom the way that he does. Ralph will do our best, okay? Just hang on. We're going to do this on purpose. All right, there's a deliberation behind what I do here. Tom says there's a problem with the background erase. It could be me. And I love the way he says that, because it could be. It could very well could be. And so we tackled that problem, and sure enough, it was the image size was too large. But remember that and keep that in mind. Sometimes we think immediately that the product has failed, and oftentimes it's not the product. Oftentimes it's just some little clunky thing that we didn't know, and we try to cover those little clunky things that we don't know as we go. And this was the issue here with the background erase tool, is if the image is too big, or if it's too large, or if it's too whatever, you're going to have an issue with it. And so you have to shrink the image down, get it under 3,000 by 3,000. And sometimes we also need to get the size of the image down, because if you're not careful, you can make the size of the image too large, and not just the pixel size, but also the size of the file. And so Tom said it may be me, and in this case it was. And so that's really important, that we keep our images the right size and recognize that sometimes those things that we have happen because of something that we didn't know or something that we thought we had. And we just need to be aware of that. When that happens, feel free to put it in the group. Somebody will respond to you immediately and get you taken care of. If you'll notice here, Tom made their comment at 6:19, and I responded at 6:36, as well as other people. So that was pretty cool. Now, this came up as well, and this was, Derek had posted this. He was having a problem with the LinkedIn images. They were being truncated on the edges. And so we looked at it. We did everything we could do on our end, and come to find out what it was, LinkedIn's research team got back with him and said that the aspect ratio needed to be 3:2. And we did not have, we had the original size, which was the image size, but LinkedIn required, with their new program, required an aspect ratio of 3:2. And so I gave him the new resolution of that. But him following back up with us and letting us know that helps us to be able to make the changes and the development that we need in order to stay on top of things. Because understand this, those guys don't call us and tell us what's going on. Okay, we have to find that out, and sometimes we find it out from you, and it becomes difficult sometimes if we don't get feedback from the community. And so, thank you for helping us with that. And this is a great example of that. But notice here in this case, it took some time. The research team from LinkedIn got back with Derek yesterday, and he had posted the question to them on September the 13th. So sometimes that's the delay. It's not necessarily on our end, but we need to find out what we have to do in order to make it work for you. Okay. So having said that, there's one more thing I want to introduce, and I think this will help. Okay. And here it is. I want to give you a policy that we have in the businesses where I've worked, and we call it complete the loop. When you ask a question and somebody answers that, be sure and let them know that worked or didn't work. If it worked, we need to know. That helps, okay? And it helps everybody in the group, because they'll see the question and they'll go, oh, well, that was the problem. Kind of like Tom's issue. It could be me. Let's take a look at this. And so what we did was we went through it and we found the problem, and we fixed it, and we took care of it. And Tom posted his final product, and that was good. But always complete the loop. If you ask a question, or if you ask for help or for direction, not a support ticket. That's not what I'm talking about. Gloria has given us the support ticket email address here, and it's very important that we use that. But always complete the loop. I sometimes think that somebody's just waiting for an answer, and I jump in and I help them with the answer, and then I find out that they're not coming back to it for a week. But complete the loop. Make sure that we know where to go with that, and it'll really help us, okay? Yesterday, I had a tooth pulled, and it allowed me pinned post in the group. Mary, if you look at the pinned post at each of the groups, Gloria has posted some information at the beginning of each one of the groups that will help you, both the Usigner and the GIF Signer group, okay? And if you don't know about the groups, Gloria will get you the Facebook group information in just a minute, okay? Yeah, a pin post is the post that stays at the top when you go to the group. Now, yesterday, because I'm sitting in a recliner recovering from having a tooth pulled, I started reading through the resources that we have. And I was amazed as I went through the resources, the amount of information that's there. Both the Usign.com blog and the GIFsign.com blog, both of those have tons of information in it. And every little bit, we have Rose will put a new blog post in, and the blog posts are amazing. They're just amazing. The two blog posts that she puts in for Usign and for GIF sign. She does a great job with that. Yesterday, we were talking about one of the upcoming blog posts, and you're going to be excited to see that. But make sure that you go in and read that blog every once in a while. We post in each of the groups, both the Usigner group and the GIF signer group. We post in there the recent blog posts. And so they don't last forever. Obviously, they get lost in the feed, but make sure that you understand that and go in and read those blog posts. And then I went to the GIF sign and the Usign support page and walked through those and looked at all of the things in the development of the product. If you have a moment, it's really worth your time and effort to do that, to walk through those and take a look at the stuff that's there, because there's a gold mine of information that's available to you in those resources. And I just wanted to remind you of the resources today as we get started. Now, let's talk about yesterday. I got a chance. I just decided I would take the time and play with the cinematographic feature that we have in GIF sign. And so we'll talk about that just a little bit today. We may get to showing you how to use that. We may not, but I want you to see this cinematographic feature that we have is just amazing. And then as I was playing with this, I saw something kind of magical happen here. Notice how the guy kind of separates himself from the image that was there. I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. And so didn't intend to do that, but it kind of happened. And I thought, I've been on a date that went like that before, where I kind of wanted to separate myself from that for just a moment, take a deep breath and go, oh, let's see, do we really want to do this? And so this is a great tool, something that we don't talk about very much. Something that I think can be very, very helpful to you, and you can use in some pretty cool ways. So find an opportunity to use this cinematographic feature, play with that a little bit. You may see some really, really cool stuff come about with that. So we'll talk about that when we get an opportunity, okay? Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting. So then I want to talk today a little bit about using GIFs versus video. And here is a good example of being able to give somebody something that will help kind of walk them through what you can do for them. And just a nice little video to play here. And I've created a video by using GIF sign. Okay, a video using GIF sign. And this is a really, really cool way to do this. Does not require a player, does not require that you render a video. I got to thinking about how much time it takes me to render a video. Hello, Chris. I got to thinking about the amount of time it takes me to create and render a video, then post it someplace, put it in a player, and all of that, and how fast and easy it is to do a GIF just like this. Okay, so can you see how this would be helpful to you as opposed to having a video put inside of a player? Would that be helpful to you? Can you see the value of that? Let me know if you think that would be valuable. All right, let me give you another example here. Okay, here's another really cool example. I took a landscaping company, just went to their Facebook page, grabbed a landscape company, and decided that I would make a GIF demonstrating what we could do for them rather than static images on their Facebook page or this is a pretty, I love where they're going with this work, but watch what happens when we do this, okay? We can take those images, turn them into a GIF. I don't have to put them in a player. I don't have to do anything. And it just simply plays. And we can put that in Facebook and it plays. We can put it in Facebook Messenger and it can play. You can put it in an email. Renee, you can put it in an email and it just plays. And it requires so much less work than creating a video. And we can put all kinds of images in here. I've just got a couple in this one. This one happened to be 5 that were kind of at the same targeted spot. And so, and yes, we can put text with it, and I'll show you that in just a minute, okay? Now, here's another example. We're going to talk about this later today, but here's another example of using a GIF to kind of demonstrate something. And so we can put, and what I did was we have, and I'll show you the icons in just a little bit. In Usign, we have new icons. So I took those icons and put them in a GIF like this, which in this case took 30, there was 30 images that I did to create this with. Actually, the 30 images was in the other one. This one has 17. I'm sorry. So great way to use GIFsign to be able to demonstrate and to get information out to people. And you can do two things with the text. We have a text tool inside of GIFsign, which I'll show you in just a minute. And we also have the ability to be able to take text from Usign and superimpose that over the GIF. And I'll show you that one in just a little bit. Okay. So great way to be able to demonstrate stuff to people. And if you're not looking for sound, is there a limit on the number of images? You know, Jeffrey, I've used 45 images and had no issue whatsoever. I don't think that there's a limit at all. We've been asked that question a few times. Nobody's been able to reach a limit on it. Obviously, there's a point at which, you know, you may be better served if you had a video, but I don't think that there's a limit that's going to create an issue for you whatsoever. This has become an incredible tool, folks. This ability to be able to do this makes GIFsign an even better tool all the time, okay? And it's part of the passion that we have to develop products that will be beneficial to you. Now, let's talk about my little school that we're using here called Templateology. If you're a member of the Template Club, this is a good example where you're using a GIFsign because you don't need to have sound. Okay. Gloria said she made a GIF 5 minutes long and had no trouble whatsoever. Okay, Vanessa, I saw you ask that question in the group, and I have that down to talk about, so we'll definitely do that. Yes, there is. If you export it as an MP4, you can do sound. Correct. But Vanessa, I will get to the business card in just a minute, okay? Let's make sure we don't miss that question. Al, what is it that you don't see on your dashboard? I want to make sure that we... Okay, so back to Templateology. Gloria will take care of you, Al. Back to the Templateology. When I open up the templates, I take a look here to see, I'm always looking for a business idea. I'm always looking for a business opportunity. And this lower thirds, I thought this was pretty cool. They actually put in here lower third business. People need to have that lower third put in their videos. And you've got the ability to be able to do that with, I've got the ability to be able to do that with Usign, and we've talked about how to make those overlay templates. I showed you another way to do that up here with this GIF, being able to do the lower third right here. Show you how to demonstrate that. But Templateology, I'm using the templates to come up with business ideas. And being able to offer a lower third to somebody, whether you use it in a GIF or a video, is a huge benefit to the business owner because they don't know where to go to get this. They don't know how to put that lower third in there. And that's something that you can be extremely beneficial to them. And so I'm always looking at the templates for business ideas. And here's a great way to be able to do that using lower thirds. Now, let me give you one more thing from the templates that is another part of my Templateology training, and that is if you are a member of the Template Club, you have this Psychology of Color infographic that is available in that bundle. And I'm telling you, this is worth everything that you pay for the Template Club because you get all kinds of information in those in those infographics, stuff that you will use immediately and you will use for the duration of your design career. Okay. Checking to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right. Editing tools. We're always talking about this text tools over here, and here's this is a text font that I love, but I can't ever remember what it's called, and it's called IF, and so I save it over here in my template. So just a reminder, we've got to be using that. I get these questions all the time. Do I have to pay extra for these other fonts over here? No, they're there. We're just going to save them. Okay. All right. Al Gloria will take care of you. Okay. We always use the curved text tool at the very end of the training, and I wanted to make sure that you all understood that you need to be using that curved text tool. That is such a cool tool, and as I say right here, I love using the curved text tool so much I look for places to use it, and I do. I look for places and opportunities to use it all the time. And so if you're having issues with that curved text tool, I still see people asking the question in the group, it would be nice if we could do curved text. You can do curved text. I want to make sure that you get the opportunity to do that. Then the next thing, and I want you to see this. I talked about LinkedIn a while ago that we had to change the format because LinkedIn is like 1200 by 646 or something like that in the format tool. Just simply save this format 12 by 800, and that will give you the proper aspect ratio so that it will fit properly in a LinkedIn post. Okay. But notice to the left-hand side of the screen there, you will notice a bunch of new icons. And these icons are new in your vector images under icons. And they make a really, really nice looking icon. Let me show you what I did on my website. I put them in my website right here like this. And they look really nice. You can take these icons and change the color because they're a vector image. And I change them so that they match the style and the formatting on my website. And that's how we did that. Okay. And I just built a library of those images, made them the color that I wanted, and I just love it. I think that they're great looking, very stylish icons that you can use inside of your platform. Okay? Any questions about that? Now we'll get on to we'll get to the design canvas here in just a moment. And any questions that we have here, I have, and Gloria's got a couple of questions I'm sure that have been saved as we've gone through, and we will address those questions too. Ellie, I would love for us to be able to do that. That's something I agree. I need a little gold and silver in my life too. So I completely understand that, and that's been on the development slate for some time now, and so we're working on that, I can assure you. Okay, let's get to the design canvas, and we're going to begin with GIF sign. Okay, are y'all ready for that? Let me stop sharing my screen here. We'll get to GIF sign. Let me do GIF sign first, Vanessa, and then I will take care of you very next, okay? Because that's an important question. Now, on this particular, can you all see my screen? Are you seeing my GIF sign screen? I want to make sure that you're all seeing my screen and it's showing up correctly. Okay. All right. On this screen, this is what I did was I took those 5 images from someone's Facebook page. Now, make sure you got permission to use their images, but you took 5 images from their Facebook page, and I superimposed this image on top of it. So yes, you can put an image on like this, and then you'll see what happens when you do this. I'll always want to know, can you see that? Yes, yes, you can. Okay, cool. As that renders that GIF and gets it ready to show, understand that you have two opportunities to be able to add text to your GIFs. And the first way is we have an add text button that works just like the text button inside of Uzine. We have also the ability to be able to upload an image. And so the image upload is what I've shown you right there with the heart. Okay? Okay, I'm looking here, not sure why it's taking so long to prepare. And I have several Uzine screens open for the webinar, and it always takes a little while to do that. So hang on, we may have to log out and log back in here to make this work. Ellie, while you're there, let me ask you a couple of questions. Up here where you have your name at and you have that bell, do you have a red bell right there or a red dot on that bell? If you have if the bell has a red dot on it, then that means it needs to be updated. If it does not have a red dot on it, then you're using the current version. Okay? That's the first place to start. Make sure that you're currently using the current version. All right, we've got lots of questions going on all over the place. Let's make sure we stay focused on Uzine right now, or on GIFzine right now. So what I've done is I've slowed this way down, and so you're seeing the images very slowly so that you get a chance to absorb that image. But can you see how we have this up here at the top? Okay, so you can add that image. You can add an image anywhere you want to. That image could have been text. And if it's text, then you can do things with it, like you can rotate it, you can change the size and dimension of it, that kind of a thing. You also have the ability to be able to add text here. And we'll make that so that you can see it. And there's the text there. Okay. Now I can still rotate that, and I can change the size of it. All right. Okay, let me help you all with something here. We're getting bombed with questions right now, and I think this is I love the questions, but you're going to swallow Gloria here, and she's not going to be able to stay caught up. So let's try to follow along with what we're doing here as we go, okay? And make sure that we stay contextually connected to what we're doing here. If you have a question, some of these are support questions, and you're better off to do a support ticket. Okay, really want to help you understand that. We're really interested in helping you, but we got to make sure that we stay on track here. Otherwise, this becomes your personal support group, and we don't want it to be that. Okay, are we all good with that? All right, so we can add text, we can add graphics, and you saw that I had uploaded a graphic image here. You can do one or the other. Now, when you're doing this size right here, understand, and what I've done, if I'll go back out here to this screen right here, I actually uploaded this GIF. So you can upload a GIF, and I'll show you, we'll do that right here. You can actually upload a GIF and pull a GIF into the image here. And when you do that, it will give you the mock-up around the outside of it. I saved this GIF with the mock-up, and so you'll get the mock-up right here as well, okay? Which sometimes can be cool. You can add an image to that mock-up, and we can put that image right down here, and now you can save it as a GIF, and it will play as a GIF, okay? Let's see what we got here. Christopher, I explained at the very beginning, this is going to be GIF sign and GIF and U sign. Okay, so stick with me. We're going to do both. And I'm showing you how to use the U sign tools inside of GIF sign. Okay, so having done that, and we always spend the first half of the training as always to cover a few things about GIF sign, just so that we all stay caught up. Okay? Beth, are you talking about this inside of GIF sign, or are you talking about it inside of U sign? Either one. Okay. Should have, and when you hold down the shift key, you can rotate that at predetermined angles. Okay. So I'm getting 45 degrees each time I rotate that by holding down the shift key. So that gets it aligned perfectly that way. So I'm always, I've got a perfect alignment when I do that. All right, that's the first thing. And then there isn't an undo button inside of GIF sign, but there is in U sign. Okay. All right, that's what we're going to do on GIF sign. The cinema graph is right here. I don't have time to do that today, but we will do cinema graph next week. We'll take the first half of the of GIF sign and we'll do the cinema graph with it. Okay, are we all good with that? Because I want to get to the U sign screen because we got tons of questions about U sign. The alignment is fairly simple, Ellie. What you do is on the alignment, you're taking your image. I've got a big image there. You're taking your image. Can you see this? You're taking your image. You're getting on this little rotate key, which is the arrow in a horseshoe shape. You do the kind of in a hook shape, and you hold. You get your cursor there. You hold down your shift key, and then you pull it to the side, and it rotates that at 45-degree angles at a time. Okay, that's how you do that in those designs. Okay. Now, the other thing that you can do, and keep this in mind, if you have a particular angle that you like, let's just say, for example, I like this angle, I can save that angle and I never have to repeat it again. I just simply hit the save key. I go over here and take a look at this, and I go to my groups. I'm sorry, that was a text. I go to my text, scroll down to the bottom, and I have that always saved at that angle. Does that make sense? So I can do two things. I can do the preset, which is at 45 degrees. As I rotate around, I can set it the way I want it, and then I can save it as a group, or I save the text. And by saving the text, I will always have it at that angle. All right. The text branding is really just an awesome tool. It is. And there's all kinds of ways to use it. I've shown in previous weeks how we used it to save this particular business's 3 colors that they use in their branding design. And so we just simply saved it under their name. We save the text that way, and then that way we've got the color for their branding as we go. Okay? I'll be glad to show you how we do a new text and we save that. So let me just grab a text here. That text is saved at an angle. I'm going to get a whole bunch of stuff on my canvas here, guys. You're getting me too much stuff on my canvas. Let me get rid of some of this stuff so it doesn't all get in the way. And you can see what we're talking about. So this is new text. And when you go up here to the text tool, all right, I could have changed the font. I can put this in a different font format. I was going to get my GIF font right there. Okay. That really looks funky. I can save it like that. Right there is the save key. Do you see that next to the font? You have the font drop down. Right next to the font drop down is the save key. And I click on that save key. And you scroll down here to the bottom because they're always saved from the top down, from the first one to the last one. And there's that text again. Now, if you hold down your shift key, Christopher, and you're up here in your canvas, if I've got multiple elements here, let's go over and take a look at our vector elements. Pull in these icons that we have that are new. Now, I can do one of two things. I can hold down the shift key and I can do that. And when I do that, I've selected all of those elements and I can do all kinds of things with those. All right. I now have them saved as a group. I can permanently save them as a group by clicking over here and grouping them and going to the save key. All right. Or I can delete them as a group. That's the first thing I can do. If we had done exactly the same thing, and we have 3 elements in the screen here, click on the canvas, hit the A key, and I can do it that way as well. Okay? Yes, all of the webinars should be uploaded now up to last Friday. I thought that they were there yesterday when I looked. I saw that question. Oh, when you overlay them together, when you have those 3 right there like that, and I just pull into it like this, I've now got them all together. Okay? So any overlays, the way you do that is you just hold down your shift, you click off of the image so you don't have an image selected, and then you get in the corner and you do that, and then you have control over those. Okay? All right, now let's take a look at these icons. Okay, here's a new group of icons. By the way, I just love the way these icons look. Okay, I just think they're outstanding. I like them. Gives you makes you distinctively different than others. And if you look down here, we've also got your traditional icons as well. All right. So you'll have those also. But because they're vector images, I can go here, I can change my color, I can make my color match the color that I'm using in my website. And so I can simply go up here. Again, I'm using my saved tools. So I'm using the branding tools again. This is a branding tool, and I can use that. I don't have to I don't have to find the color. It's saved right there. So if I want to do that, I can do it just like that. Okay. All right, we're getting a ton of questions here. Make sure we got the questions being answered here. Yeah, I agree, Gloria. Mary's saying that she was taught to hold the shift key down. Well, the answer is yes. You can do that. If I click off of here, I can select just that element that way if I want to, and I can delete it. But I can also select all of them that way, or I can hold down the shift key and I can select them like that. Okay? Two ways to do it. And there are two ways to do a lot of things. I agree, Elsie. Ellie, I'm in love with the metallics myself, so I get that. What is the branding tool? That's a really good question. Okay, so we have a couple of things that happen with the branding tool. One of them is, if you'll notice here, I've saved this color. Let me ungroup that. I've saved this color in this tool right here. And I'll show you where I get that at. Do you see the little file folder right there? As I use the colors, those files get put in here. So I want to save that. So the next time I go in here, then I've got that these are the colors that I've used recently. Okay. And when I do that, say I want to use these two colors right here are my branding colors. So I've got both of them saved right here. And every time I want to, I don't have to go look in all of these other places. Instead, I have them right here in this folder. Okay. So that's branding tool number one. I can save the color. Branding tool number two is for me to be able to save the text. Say I want to use this text in my logo. All right. And all I had, let me just go up here and say, let's see, all I had was this tool right here. And I decided that what I wanted was, I wanted to make that this font right here. So that's the font I wanted to use. And I want to save that as my brand. And I want to make it a particular color. So I click on here, I grab my branded color right there. And now I always want that to appear just slightly tweaked to the side. Okay, just a little bit. So now I've got that tweak to the side like that. I come up here and I've saved it. Scroll down to the bottom. This is my branding tool. And I've got that title right there. And I can save it that way forever. Okay, it's the size I want. It's the angle that I want. All of that. That's Those are the two branding tools that we have. One is for color, and that's right here. And the other one is for your text. All right. Good question, Jay. And maybe it applies a little bit more to the question that we had last week. So let's go back here and see if we can do this, because this comes up a lot. Where do I get stuff that I might need that I can't find in the dashboard? So let's go over here and let's select, let's see if we can find a template that's got that thing that you're looking for. And we'll scroll down here and see if we can find something. Because last week, Jay asked the question, I don't know if we're going to find one here, to be honest with you. I don't know if we're going to find one, but I'm looking. And the answer is I don't see anything right now that looks like an elf shoe. But that would be the place to look. Look in the templates, see if you can find an elf shoe. And then you remember what we did last week. If I decide I want to use this, and you can always request a template that way as well, Jay. You do understand that. You can always request always request a template having to do with that issue. Like this little guy right here, maybe that's the guy. Maybe I want that guy right there. Okay. Now, in order for me to save that, I'm going to have to save two elements at the same time, because I can't save a group unless I have two elements in it. Save it right there. Go back under graphics, go to groups, and I've got my little guy and that house right there, so I can save that. If you could find an elf shoe in one of those, then that's the way you could do that. Okay. Does that help, Jay? Christopher, I'm going to say that that's probably best if you just ask that question in support, okay? Jay, I don't know if you can request specific elements, because these are packages. The vector images that we get are packages, and they're packaged together. When you look under seasonal, you may find something here. And these change as the year goes on. If you'll notice, all these changed in 2017. And so sometimes always do this, scroll through these and take a careful look, because they are upgrading all the time. And these are partners, and so keep that in mind, that these change and we don't always know immediately that they've changed. And so just take a look at that. You may find what you're looking for there. And you'll see those, okay? All right, let's see what else we have for questions here. Looking to see if there are any other questions. All right, but that's your branding tools, folks. If you and as well as the grouping tool. All right, saving the groups, making sure that you have the groups here. We've talked about groups a lot, and when you have vector images, you can change the color of those, like we had right there. Okay. All right. Any other questions before we go? Looking the questions over very, very carefully here to make sure we haven't missed anything. All right. I hope you enjoy these new the new icons that we have. The other thing for you to watch is this emoticons has grown from 6 to this list that you see right here now. This has become a pretty amazing list of emoticons. And again, you can do some pretty cool things with these. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else we're missing here. Business card. There you go. That's the thing I was forgetting. Thank you for mentioning that. Thank you, Vanessa. I am glad you did that. Let's go back here and we'll grab a business card template. Okay. We'll start there. Best place to start is with a business card template. Where you find that is under prints. Okay. And go to business card. Now, that's if you're a member of the template club. If you're not a member of the template club, just simply grab a template, from the dashboard, take the business card layout. So let's grab this right here. Now, this is already set up the size that it needs to be in order for you to have a good resolution on your business card. So if you'll use this, it's already set up, it's already designed, so you'll have good resolution on your business card. Okay? And this will work just fine. You can send this to any business card company, and they'll be able to print with this, and the resolution will not be an issue. And the reason is because this is automatically saved at 300 DPI, and so if you can read it, it's readable, and you can view it right here. All right, gives you an idea what that's going to look like. So you have the ability to be able to see it. Now, once I have saved this and I've done with it what I want to do, put my phone number in here, put my address. I can put a graphic image in here. I can put vector images work just fine because they're going to be they're going to be good resolution. You won't have any resolution issue with it. You can use a vector image and it will be just fine. So we can stick that over here. I don't know why a botanist would be crying, but you get my point. And when that prints out, when you take this to the printer, I can save it in one of 3 formats. I can save it in a PNG format. I can save it as a JPEG, or I can save it as a PDF. Some print companies want PDF files rather than PNG files or JPEG files. Okay, and if I save it as a PDF, it'll show up as a PDF file right here, portable document format. All right. All right. Did you lay out your card here? Did you lay it out here? Tell me if you laid out your card in the business card layout. You used the business card layout, but when you printed it, it seemed too small to you. Okay, well then you just adjust it so that it fits the size that you're looking for. I know that sounds really simple, but it really is simple. This is the thing about business cards is that they're tiny to begin with, and you may have to play with it a little bit in order to get it the size that you need it to be, but they're kind of tiny to begin with. All right, so I can move this around here. I can make that bigger if I thought it was going to look better. Now, Azali's question is, where's the PDF? Right here. When you click on the download button, you have all three options: PNG, JPEG, and PDF. PNG file is great when you want a transparent background. JPEG is great for the web. PDF, if you're going to send it to a printer, that's probably your preferred way for the printer to get it. But you want to check with the printer first and ask. Okay. Now, to be able to tell you what the right size would be, that's a personal preference. Now, the older I get, none of the fonts are ever big enough. Okay. So you want to make sure that your fonts are big enough to read. You can do that. Okay. Yes, we all seem to be having that issue sometimes. Vernon Gloria's got the best answer for you right there. All right, is there anything else? Thank you for reminding me not to forget that question. Let me look at my list. I don't see anything else. Yes, you can set the bleed on a custom canvas. Christopher, I'm not sure how to help you with your question. I'm just not sure how to help you at this point. Gloria's done her best to try to answer that. I can't follow you in what you've typed out. I just can't do that. We're both trying. There you go. Good. I have not seen what you were looking on at, Vanessa. That's good. So if it's there, yeah, we can play with that. Yeah, the card size is correct. The font size is just too small. Sometimes font sizes will start out as small as 9. There's just nobody on the planet anymore that can read a 9 size font. And keep that in mind when you're looking at this, because right here, this font size right here is set way big, okay? But when it prints out, it'll print out really tiny. As you can see when you do this, you can see how small that gets here. I may need that magnifying glass, Mike. Thank you. And you'll notice when you look at the template layout, we have a bunch of different sizes in the templates. There are a bunch of those. So, and I always make mine larger. Always. It's just become a habit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it greatly, and I look forward to talking to you next Friday, same time, same place. We'll spend a little time working on Cinemagraph next week with GIF Design. So I'm looking forward to that. I look forward to having you back, same time, same place, right here. Thank you very much.